Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Luke D Show. Or, no, it's not called that. I think it's called Luke D Talks or something. We can change it. I don't know. What do you guys like? We'll figure it out. I just poured seltzer water in this cup, so it's making like fizzy sound effects. I don't know if that's annoying. I don't know if you can hear it, but probably not ideal for the beginning of a podcast. I feel weird calling it a podcast, but it's kind of what it is. Yeah. So I don't really know what this is, but people have been requesting I do this, so I figure I'd give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. That's fine. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm happy that you're here with me if you are. I'm not here to cover like important news going on in the world because I feel like my opinion on things that matter doesn't matter. And my opinion on things that don't matter kind of matter. So, we'll talk about irrelevant stuff here, if that's okay. Try to think what's been going on. Because not a lot has. I ran into a buddy the other day, an old childhood friend, and we had an important talk because what he said really made an impact with me. I asked him how he was doing, and he's like, oh, well, I just collected unemployment for the past 2 months because I snapped at my job and I got fired. Now, let me tell you, I damn near almost cried when he said that, because I was proud of him. Not because I was happy he lost his job, but because he snapped at his employers. He did like the ultimate sacrifice. I didn't realize that hearing someone say, I snapped at my job, got fired for it, but I've been collecting unemployment for the past 2 months would make me feel so damn patriotic and shit. I started rooting for our country when I heard that, because that's the American way. I apologize to the small amount of Native Hawaiian blood that I have, but today I'm choosing to be an American. For the day, maybe for the week, we'll see. That's the beauty of having just like a mixed pot of races, is I just get to pick what I want to identify as for the day. Well, nationalities, I don't know, whatever. Jury duty summons come in the mail? I'm sorry, but I am a citizen of the Kingdom of Hawaii, and I will not partake in your corrupt American judicial system, for I am not even allowed to. I'm not a citizen. My buddy gets fired for snapping at work and then collects unemployment for it. I am a cherry tree chopping, apple pie eating, commie hating, Big Mac motherfucking American. Cue the anthem. Dear Meredith, the nights have been cold as a Russian handshake. The men and I have been surviving off of rabbit stew, which doesn't sound too bad until you see the little bunny ears floating around in there. It's been tough, though I have a feeling the British will retreat any day now. An odd thing, isn't it? War. Almost like a game of chess, but instead of moving through squares, we're moving through, I don't know, grass. Sorry, I just get a little riled up for our country sometimes. When people benefit from things, you know. This chair is bullshit. Alright. Anyway, the weather's been nice. Thanks for asking, guys. Yeah, the weather's really cool. I should probably go to the beach soon. I don't live that far away from it, but I hardly ever go. I don't know, with all the new people moving into this place, It seems like every time I go to the beach, there's somebody playing like loud music or just being obnoxious. And when someone's over there blasting music in like a quiet setting, I feel violated. I just feel like blasting obnoxious music in a peaceful setting is kind of like a form of assault. You're forcing your shitty music on me. You're penetrating my ear holes with it. I came here so that my ears could be romanticized and wooed, if you will, by the sounds of the oceans, the waves breaking over the shore. Not for them to be forcefully fucked without even being drunk first. I'm completely aware when this is happening. I'm gonna remember all of it. So what I'm saying is, if you play loud music at the beach, you're probably a rapist. Is that too much? I don't know if that's too much. I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter. I don't know where this is going. Anyway, what was I gonna talk? Oh yeah, I was at a coffee shop the other day and I heard this older couple and they said something like, people don't keep in touch anymore. They don't even call each other on the phone. They just text. And, social media is the cause of this. And I'm thinking, the internet definitely has something to do with it, but I don't think social media is the problem. I think it's that we don't need to call people for little things anymore because we can just Google them. We used to have to call each other because we had a question, like some irrelevant shit that we couldn't just look up. So it gave us an excuse to reach out to an old friend or mom or dad or something. Like pre-internet. Let's say you're filling out a job questionnaire, right? And so you're stuck on something. So you gotta call your friend up. So you call him. Hey, Jim. I'm sorry to bother you, but I know you're good with words. There's two ways to spell watch, right? Like there's the watch like that you wear on your wrist, and then there's like the watch like I'm watching something. No, I thought there was two ways. There's one has a T in it, right? They both have T's in them? Oh, this is why I called you, because I thought, who better to call than Jim? He's so good with words. Man, thank you. Now I'm not going to look like an idiot on my job application. By the way, how are the kids? Oh boy, I bet they're growing up fast. How's the wife? Depressed? Just buy her a new vacuum. She'll be fine. That's the cure. Buy him a vacuum. What kind of vacuum? I don't know. Everyone talks about Hoover, but there's more options than Hoover. Blah, 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 blah. The conversation would just go on for another hour because you needed something from your friend. Now we don't call because we don't need to. If I were to call a buddy right now, it would be like, Hi. How are the kids? Do you see how awkward that is without the social lubricant that is needing something first? Now you're just getting straight to the weird conversation. It's like, it's raw dogging conversation. It's awkward. Just jumping in. No parachute. And yeah, I know they had dictionaries and encyclopedias back then, but it was easier to call somebody than it was to open that dusty nonsense and search for words, and you're breathing in all these moldy fumes. I don't even know how to explain it. I remember my aunt had a room full of dictionaries and it smelled disgusting in there. Not dictionaries, encyclopedias. You walked into that room and you just smelt it. Musty. If you grabbed one of them, it'd just fall apart probably. I didn't even touch them. That's probably why my voice is the way that it is. From every time I stayed at my aunt's house, I was just breathing in encyclopedia musk. Lost a lot of brain cells too, that's probably why. Probably explains my temper in my early 20s. Those fucking encyclopedias. I should sue my aunt for having those in the fucking house. Anyway, yeah, little simple curiosities kept us in touch. Like, call up your buddy again. Hey, Hank. Hey, you were really into Elvis, right? Yeah, well, I'm calling because when was Elvis's birthday again? Because I'm dating this girl, and I swear her birthday is the same as the king. Really? See, that's what I thought. I knew she had the same birthday as Elvis. I thought who better to call than Hank? He loves Elvis. Now, you know what would be crazy? Is if she died on the same day as Elvis, too. No, I'm not gonna make that happen, Hank, you crazy bastard. How are the kids? Hey, Jim. It's me again. I was just thinking about how they measure historical events on a timeline. And remember that Christian school we went to? They told us that BC meant before Christ, but it means something else, right? Before Common Era. See, that's what I thought. Now why would they go and teach us that shit? When I transferred over to public school, all the other kids thought I was dull. See, that one's kind of personal because I did go to a Christian elementary school. And I don't think I was born with autism. I think they just gave it to me over there. And that's no offense to anybody listening that I went to school with over there, but you guys, we might all have to get tested. I never did get tested, but I think it's safe to say there's something going on. Or isn't going on. I don't know. If this is successful, then one day I'll bring an expert on and we can go over that. What was the topic here? I don't remember. Birds. So somebody told me that when birds chirp every morning, like they have their little chirp off and they go for minutes at a time, they are really celebrating that they didn't die that night. And I thought that's a very positive outlook on life. You know, maybe we should do that every morning. Wouldn't that be something? Like, go to work. Hey, Dave, good morning. Well, it is a good morning. 0 intruders last night. I didn't even have to use my 12 gauge. But in reality, I feel like it's more, hey, Dave, good morning. Fuck you, good morning. Good morning. I can't pay the mortgage. I wish an intruder would break into my house in the middle of the night and stick a 12 gauge down my throat while I'm sleeping. Some mornings I wake up from those birds and I wish I slept on an unsturdy branch with the potential to snap in the middle of the night so that I'd fall into a fucking cobra's mouth. I'm just kidding. We don't have cobras here. But yeah, so are birds just in constant fear of death? That they just celebrate every morning as like a win? They're that fearful of death. That would kind of explain why they shit so much. You know, just, oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, I didn't die. What's interesting about bird poop is when they shit, trees grow. Like fruit trees and everything. All kinds of trees. Like, for instance, where I live, some bird ate some papaya seeds one day. Months later, I'm eating fresh papayas. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one eating those papayas. Because if I don't get to them in time, you can see they're all pecked out by the birds. So I'm pretty sure that same bird that took the papaya shit is eating those papayas. It's like a wild cycle. Now, if only I could take a shit and a Pokeball would grow. Birds have it made to me. It's like they got the unlimited food supply cheat code on, And they're ungrateful. They're too worried about death to appreciate it. Give me that power. I would love to shit a Big Mac. And don't even get me started on these cows with their mushrooms. That's free drugs all the time. And they're miserable. You hear them complain. I got cows not that far away from me. You hear them throughout the whole night. Moo, moo. Shut the fuck up. There's mushrooms right there. Right there. Eat them. Expand your consciousness, dummy. Maybe if you evolved a little bit, you'd learn how to talk and we wouldn't eat you. I apologize to the vegans and the cows. This is a satirical podcast, people. This is satire. That's the great thing about anything that I do, I guess. I can just say something and then say, it's satire. It's not real. That's not how I feel about that. I wish I could go vegan. I do feel bad for animals. I can't make the switch. And you know what's weird? Is I used to smoke a lot of weed, and you would think that smoking a plant would make you go like, no, I can't eat the meat. I'm more closer to the earth, more like one with consciousness and this and that. But no, it makes you want to eat anything but a salad. It's almost like the plant is saying, yeah, stay away from us. Speaking of consciousness and stuff like that, so I uploaded a satirical video about ego death, and it's the uncle character who's supposed to be like highly insensitive and obnoxious, and he's got all sorts of problems. He's ignorant, to issues that some might find very important in the modern day. He doesn't know any better, but so in this bit that I shared on Instagram and TikTok, I go on about ego death. And I am actually a firm believer in the benefits of psychedelics if used properly. Like, I'm all on board for it. I've heard the miracle stories. I've seen them. That's great. I mean, even just microdosing the mushrooms really helped me a lot. That's subjective. What do they say? Music is subjective. That could be subjective. I don't know if it's helped me. I feel like it's helped me. Everyone thinks I'm fucked up, but I kind of always been this way. Like I said, Christian school. Anyway, yeah, I'm a firm believer in the benefits of psychedelics. I think they can be a miracle for people, but I just have fun with these videos, right? And the comment sections on these videos are just exploding with all these spiritual people who claim to have been through ego death and this and that, and they're just arguing with each other. I mean, they are at each other's throats, and it is amazing because they are just proving the point of the post in the first place. Like, the video was meant to be satirical, but it's kind of like poking fun at these people who claim to be above others because they've experienced the ego death. The comment section is literally those people who feel like they're smarter than the rest because they've tripped balls on psychedelics and they've seen parts of the world that we've never seen before. I bet that's probably like what Columbus was like. After every one of his travels, he probably went back home and was like, you guys don't even know what it's like to live until you've spent a year at sea. Just lose all connection to the reality. And you probably had that guy like, shut the fuck up, Columbus. You're not better than us because you spent some time in the ocean, dick. But yeah, one of my favorite comments that I happened to notice on that video about ego death was one guy that said, it's always the guys that drink 4 gallons of booze that talk shit on psychedelics. And I thought, yeah, you kind of got a point. Because no one knows ego death better than someone who's woken up in a cell, covered in their own piss, dreading DUI fines, lawyer fees, possibly a divorce, losing their children, No one knows about the loss of ego more than a burnt out alcoholic who cannot even sign his jail release papers because his hands are so shaky from withdrawing from the booze. And when he does get out of jail, he knows he has to eat, but he's so nauseated the only way he can stomach any food is by taking a couple shots of bourbon first. That's getting a little specific. Anyway, keep arguing about spirituality and consciousness. It's great. Alright, well, a while back I asked you guys to send me some words and I would explain the word origins for a segment called Word Origins. Word Origins. I can tell why people think I'm fucked up. I do have a stutter. That's why a lot of this is edited. Anyway, yeah. Word origins, where you guys give me a word and I explain the history behind it, how it became a word. I know you guys sent a bunch of them, but tonight we can only do one. In the future shows or whatever, we'll do more. Tonight's word origin is bamboozled, sent in by Laced and Confused. Laced and Confused. Bamboozled. The origin of the word bamboozled comes from old China, where people used to get mugged with bamboo sticks. Say a guy was just walking down the street and he'd get whacked in the back of the head with a bamboo stick. He'd get all dazed and whatnot. And when he would wake up, his wallet would be missing. And he'd say, "Oh shit, I got bamboozled again." Congratulations, now you know the word origin for that. We got our advice segment, which I know everybody has that on their podcast and stuff, but I thought it would be interesting to try. So, starting off with the advice segment, we got Anonymous. Does watching furry porn make me a bad person? Yes. Just kidding. Let's kind of dig further into this. If it's not making you go out and harm other people or think about other people in a certain way that happens to be like sinister or diabolical, wow, these are big words, then I'd say it's fine. I mean, it may not be the healthiest thing for you mentally, but who am I to judge? Because we all have like our weird thing, right? Like mine, for instance, it's like I like to it up. And you just take it. Then you say, "Pardon me, sire." Alright, next question. Advice on how to talk to tall woman. That's a tough one. I'd assume you look up when you do it. Or actually, do the opposite. Look down. Reverse psychology. Instead of asking how the weather is up there, perhaps offer if she'd like to know the current climate down there where you are. Maybe mention how it's more safe where you are because of less carbon emissions. I was never great at communicating. I just wouldn't talk to them. Next one from Anonymous. I've been really struggling with relationship issues the past couple months, and I was wondering if you had any advice on either coping with the loss of someone you really care about or how to move on and find something better. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I know it sucks, and I know it's hard, but the last thing that you want to do is stay in contact with that person. Like, don't even text them. I don't know if you drink, but if drinking makes you think about them more and start playing sad music, and then don't drink. And don't text them, because then that just comes off as sad and needy. And you're going to look back going, damn, what was I thinking? It was like psycho. Because in a way, it's kind of like borderline psychotic when you try to get them back. And it doesn't feel like that in the moment, but later on you'll look back and go, holy shit, what was wrong with me? That person has got to learn how to deal without you, and you got to do the same, but 10 times that. Once you start taking care of yourself, mentally and physically, then you won't have to worry about finding that better person, because that better person will just come to you. I know it's way easier said than done, but you gotta learn to love yourself, bro, more than anybody. Be self-absorbed. I don't know why it's such a bad thing to be self-absorbed. Sometimes it's a great thing, especially after going through a breakup. Fuck everybody else. Focus on yourself. And just love yourself, bro. Get comfortable. When you're comfortable, you're confident. And other people notice that. Try not to rush anything, because then you'll end up with the wrong person, or maybe even a worse one than the last one. You just let it happen. And I wish you the best of luck, man. Okay, here we got the last one from Jake. What's your method of trying to stay happy? Projects like this. Well, this particular one, this is kind of new, so I don't know how it's going to work out. And it's exciting, but it's nerve-wracking at the same time. But at least it's keeping me busy. And because I'm busy, I don't have time to think about unhappy shit. If I'm sitting around doing nothing, then that's all that happens, is negative thoughts. Like, I will get sad, but I don't like going out. Video games make me feel like unaccomplished. If I do nothing, then it's doing nothing with the wife. So that's kind of something. Like, if we watch Netflix together, that's different than doing nothing. But even then, it's only Netflix at nighttime, like before bed, while we're having dinner. During the day, you cannot mope around. You gotta get stuff done. And I know that sounds so easy, but it's not easy. In fact, I still have a full-time job, but the moment I get home from work, I'm straight to writing. I mean, sure, I might check my phone and that stuff, which is probably not the healthiest thing, so I shouldn't say straight to writing, but I get home, maybe check my phone a little bit, then it's straight to writing, because if I sit on the couch, nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to have anything to look forward to because I am stagnant. And that's going to make me sad. Nothing happens to us when we do jack shit. I mean, you just got to find your thing, I guess. Find your distraction. Find something that keeps you busy but makes you happy too. And some of the things that, like, people say makes them happy, it's not like they start doing it and every time they do it, it's just they're overfilled with joy and stuff like that. It's not like that. But the end result is usually what makes you happy. I hate the process of all of this sometimes. It's not fun. But the end results keep me pretty happy. You just gotta find your thing, and positive reinforcements. I do that. You need to tell yourself you're the shit. I have to do that because I feel I have to tell myself that because I've never felt like the shit in my life, and I've always been down and sad, and I haven't really been happy until recently. That's the honest truth. What made me snap out of that was doing stuff. And I know that's not the cure-all for everybody. I know some people have it harder than that. But start doing stuff and get better at stuff, and stuff will happen. Positive stuff. And who knows, maybe what I'm doing now isn't even really my thing. Maybe I'll change my mind in a year and find something else and look back and go, God, I was stupid. Because I always do that. I always look back and go, what the fuck was I thinking? What was going through my brain where I thought that that was my thing? But I gotta tell you, I'm starting to do that less and less. And I believe that's a good sign. Or that could be a sign of insanity. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this. Thanks for sending in the questions and stuff. Make sure to get your No Atlantis mug. And I do have the arrow catching hats, but they're not physically on me. I cannot afford to buy all this stuff and hold it and hope that people buy it. So yes, it is print to ship, so it takes a while. These hats like ship from Lativa. I didn't even know that was a place. But you can get this stuff at lukedstuff.com. That's lukedstuff.com. Anyway, really guys, take care of yourselves. Find your distraction. Stay busy. Okay, love you guys.